And again, disconnect the negative battery terminal. Okay, I got the vehicle jacked up and put a jack underneath the subframe. And the fuel pump is the fuel filter is actually located on the left-hand side. If you follow the gas line coming from the fuel tank, it's actually right underneath the driver's side, located right on the inside of the frame rail. So there's the fuel filter. Here's the new fuel filter. As you can see, it has an arrow. Make sure you get the direction. This needs to point towards the engine. To remove the fuel filter, what you need is actually a quick disconnect fuel line fitting like this. You'd actually want to do is put this over the tube and push this towards the line, and actually will disconnect the quick connect fitting. And you do that on both sides. This is actually a multi-tool. So you just place this over the tube and press it towards the fitting, and it should pop it loose. So underneath the car again, it looks like I have 5/16 inch size tube. So I'm going to do the front first just in case there is any line pressure. And you definitely want to be wearing safety glasses so you don't get any fuel. There. Okay, once you get both fittings off, you just slide the filter right out from the housing. Okay, now we can reconnect our fuel pump relay. And then okay, the fuel pump's done. The next step, I'm gonna replace the engine intake air filter, which is located just right next to the distribution box. So to do that, I'm gonna first disconnect this rubber plenum from the throttle box, just because it's a little more durable on this end, and that will give us room to remove the cover. So just loosen this clamp, and you can just pry this pipe right off the throttle body. And then disconnect or remove these clips. And now it opens up this direction, and you should be able to pop out the air filter and put the new filter in. Okay, I got the new one in, so just put the clips back on. And just make sure the bottom isn't loose, because the bottom actually hinges on. In case it came unhinged, you'd have to rehinge it. And there, that's all there is to it. Then just reconnect this plenum to the throttle body, and we're done with the air filter.
Actually, you can give me a pillow. I'll get that more comfortable.
Okay, now we're reaching the spark plugs using a 5/8 inch socket. Just gotta reach down back with your hand by hand. One at a time. Just follow the cables back to get to the spark plugs. Okay, we put an extension on. This is the center spark plug. This is the underneath view. There's really no room with all the pipe stuff to get from underneath. Looks like you're getting it. I think it's coming loose. I hear it. See that, you're stripping it. Okay, for each spark plug, you definitely want to put some anti-seize on there, which will, since it's in a hot environment, it won't rust and corrode to the actual engine head. So just put a little bit of that and smear it in before you install the spark plug.
But don't tell Ruth I told you.
Okay, here we're putting the ignition coil back, mounted back onto the engine. Alright, we got all 6 spark plugs in. The hardest was the back. You can see there we got put new wires in there. This is the view from the underside. And then here's the 3 plugs in the front. You want to make sure the engine's cool before you actually remove the plugs so you don't burn yourself. So the 3 in the front are hard to get to as well. You just gotta squeeze underneath. And it's all 5/8 inch sockets. And then we ran a new wire just because of it's a good idea to go ahead and replace the wires as well. Here's one of the spark plug boots. This is the old one, but for each of the new wires, you want to put some dielectric grease on the inside edge of each boot. It's not necessary, but it helps with electrical or moisture prevention. Kind of seals it a little bit better for moisture. So you just squeeze a little bit in there, and then when you put it into the plug, just twist it around. Here's the cowl tray. I'm going to put the cowl tray back in. You just kind of slide it up in here, and then connect your starter motor from back here, or actually the wiper motor. Plug that back in, and then you want to set it in place, and then you reconnect the washer hose, which is over here on the right hand side, the passenger side. Another thing I failed to mention, we did actually accidentally pulled a couple of vacuum hoses in the back behind the engine. You want to make sure they're all secured. Make sure you check the main vacuum lines, which is any hose. You make sure you didn't disconnect it accidentally when you're working down in here in the engine compartment. So we did accidentally unplug a hose in the back, which was actually towards the main booster line, and we had to reconnect it. Okay, I got the cowl tray in. You can see you tuck the wiper back in here. There's actually the linkage actually tucks back into underneath the fender. And then I'm going to install the new cabin filter. The new cabin filter, you can see, has airflow direction. So make sure you have that pointed down. And just pop the new air filter in place. And then remember, the longer screws are on this side of the mounting. You also have to make sure this drain duct is mounted up properly as well. I would do the drain duct first, just because it's easier to move that around. That's located just by the cabin filter. Once you get that, then we can do the longer screws first. Okay, to get the drain, I actually reach underneath, grab a hold of the drain to hold it against the cowl tray, and then screw it in by hand just to get it started. So once you get it started, use the small screws. Reaching underneath, you can hold the drain and screw in the top hole. So the smaller screws you put everywhere you see a metal clip. And then the longer screws to mount to the fender. In fact, there's actually two longer screws down in here. Actually, there's one longer screw right there. And that connects to the HVAC system. The plenum is actually connected using just a clip, so I'm going to use a smaller screw underneath the air filter element. Okay, 4 more screws. Put the longer screws. Let's mount them to the fender. This is on the passenger side. You see it's actually a lot quicker to fit cordless drill since there are longer screws. Now here on the driver's side. Okay, now we got the plenum fully mounted and secured. So now we just need to connect the washer hose. It looks like it's easier just to flip it up on that side of the hood first and tuck it underneath the windshield wiper. And then bring it down like that. It does come loose, you can just clip it back into place. Make sure it makes a good seal against the windshield. It does catch most of the water. Anything else is actually fine. Okay, now we just need to put the 4 plastic clips on. As you can see, it's just a hole. So you take your clip, press it in there, and these screws actually don't screw out. You can press them in. You install the cabin air filter cover. Just clips into place. Now reinstall your wiper blade. And now you can reconnect the negative battery. And now we're done. Let's start it up and see what she does. Oh yeah, it runs a lot smoother.